Hello everyone, and welcome to my Monster Hunter World Beginner's Guide Part 2, where we're going to be picking up where we left off on Part 1, which was we just hunted the Great Jagras, and we are now moving on to the next mission. First, before you even get to do this next mission, you gotta go speak to the Provisions Manager, and she will tell you that we need to set up a camp in the ancient forest. So, in order to do that, you have to depart on an expedition, and there are two ways to depart on an expedition. One, you pull up your map and you highlight a zone you want to go to. Does not have to be the ancient forest, but seeing as how it's the only one you have unlocked, it kinda does. So, you select it, and then you should only have one camp there to depart with. There's another way too. You can go to any exit in Astera. There should be 3. They're not hard to find. Well, one is you have to go up a bunch of stairs, but there's one up here by the canteen. It will bring you to the same thing. It opens up your map to where you can select the camp and depart on your expedition. After you depart, you will arrive at your camp that you've selected, and they will give you a basic tutorial on an expedition. I recommend you read this, but I'm not going to, because I already know everything it's going to tell me. So, during an expedition, there are a couple things. One, you can faint as many times as you want. It does not matter. Go fight everything. 2, there is no time limit, but monsters will not stay in the zone forever. They do leave, and it's kind of annoying after you've been fighting a Rathalos for 15 minutes and it decides to just leave the zone, and all that's for nothing. So don't get attached to monsters in the expeditions. If you want to hunt them, then I recommend you go for it. I mean, you can do whatever you want. But if you're hunting a monster for materials, then it's best to select a mission from the handler or the quest board. Also, don't worry about collecting everything you can. You can hold it all. And if you do run out of space in your item pouch, you can go back to camp and drop it all off in the tent. But if you want to know where to go on the map to find this campsite, it's going to be in Zone 5. Once you get there, there will be the Endemic Life Capturer girl. I don't know what her name is. I forget. And then the field team leader. And if you go over to the field team leader, he'll tell you to climb up the vines, and once you do that, you'll be given a cutscene. That cutscene will be for the Kulu-Ya-Ku. The Kulu-Ya-Ku is the second large monster you will hunt in this game, and you can absolutely hunt it during this expedition, but if you are scared that the Kulu-Ya-Ku will leave the zone when it's almost dead, then you can go back to Astera and accept the quest from there. The Kulu-Ya-Ku is not a hard monster, but it does have an interesting mechanic that it likes to do. It will pick up a rock and use that as a shield and a weapon against you. Whenever it holds it to its chest, if you attack it, the Kulu-Ya-Ku, and your weapon will only hit its face, then there's a good chance you'll hit the rock anyways. But in order to get it to drop its rock, you can pick up any slinger ammo, be it red pits or stones, and shoot it at the Kulu-Ya-Ku. It should only take 3, maybe 4, to knock the rock out of its hands, and then you are free to attack it. If you chose to stay on the expedition to hunt the Kulu-Ya-Ku, then once you kill the Kulu-Ya-Ku, you will have to leave the expedition. There are 2 ways to do it. You can return to any camp and talk to the handler, or you can select Astera from the world map. You have to open up your map, press square, and then select Astera, and pick a location you want to go to. That will leave the expedition and return you to that location. After you return to Astera, you are required to talk to the Provisions Manager. Then after that, you have to go and talk to the Commander to get your next mission. After you do that, he'll send you to the Handler, and there you will get your next mission to hunt a Pukei-Pukei. After you have accepted the quest, before you leave, there are a couple things you should think about doing. 1, you can go to the smithy, see if you can make any armor or upgrade your weapons. 2, eat at the canteen. I recommend doing this before any hunt. 3, check your item box to make sure that you're not full of items so you can actually pick things up during the hunt. And that's pretty much all. After you have left Astera and began your mission, you will have to figure out where the Pukei-Pukei is. It usually likes to hang out in the top right corner of the map, and if you go there and it's not there, you can wait around. It'll show up eventually. The Pukei-Pukei is not a very hard monster, and as long as you drink an antidote and drink a potion whenever you get poisoned or hurt respectively, then you should be just fine. After you have killed the Pukei-Pukei, you will be returned to Astera where they will give you your next mission. It is called the best kind of quest, and Capcom, being a bunch of jokesters, realized that it's an escort mission, and those are the worst kinds of quests because you can't go at your own speed. While you are here, I do recommend you grab some Kelby horns. In order to get Kelby horns, you have to hit a Kelby in the head with blunt damage to knock the horn off. Sever damage won't work, at least every time I hit a Kelby in the head with my greatsword it doesn't work. So I shoulder tackle them, or if you bring a hammer or pick up some stones, you can hit them with stones. I'm sure enough stones will get them to drop their horn, but using a hammer or a weapon that does blunt damage is going to be your best bet. And these Kelby horns are used in making ancient potions. Ancient potions will max out your health and stamina and fully heal you. It is useful to carry at least one ancient potion on you at all times. So, during this quest, you actually come across a Rathian. And Rathians are... well, the Rathian's called the Queen of the Land. They're not hard to take down, since they don't fly as much as other monsters do. But if you're not careful, then it will absolutely wreck you. So, in order to get past this situation that these scholars are in, make sure you have some slinger pods. It doesn't matter what they are, be it stones, red pits, scatter nuts, whatever. All you gotta do is shoot it to the ground to distract the Rathian. Whenever it turns around and comes back, shoot another stone out, it'll get distracted. It's not hard, gives the scholars enough time to move past, and you're done with that. As you continue your mission to escort the scholars, you'll be attacked by a Barroth. You have to kill this Barroth in order to complete your mission. The Barroth is a very straightforward monster with one very big weak spot, its hands. If it's on the ground, or if you have a chance, attack those hands. It likes to use its head a lot to deal damage to you, so be wary of that while you're attacking the hands, and make sure you don't get stunned. Its charges do have a high chance of stunning, and any attacks it does with its head also have a pretty good chance of stunning you. So be wary that, 1, the Barroth can stun you, and it most likely will during this fight. If you die to the Barroth, don't worry, it's not that big a deal. If you are having trouble with a monster, then feel free to send out an SOS Flare. An SOS Flare makes it to where any player in any session in any part of the world can join your hunt if they search for your flare. This does not mean that they will join your hunt, it means that they can. I will say it again, in a different way. If you send out an SOS Flare, this does not guarantee people will join your hunt. Alright, are we clear? Good. Just because you sent out an SOS Flare, if nobody's hunting the monster that you're hunting, nobody will join you. If somebody joins your SOS Flare, 2 things that are very important will change. 1, your feints will be shared. That means that anybody that feints on the quest, doesn't matter who, it takes a feint from everyone. And 2, the monster gets more health to kind of compensate for the fact that there are more hunters in the quest. It wouldn't be right if the monster kept the same amount of health, even though there's 4 people wailing on it. It will just be killed that much quicker. After you kill the Barroth, you'll be given a cutscene. Then after that cutscene, you will be returned to Astera, where you will be given your next mission. The next mission is called Sinister Shadows in the Swamp. They will send you out to find a lost scholar who has been separated from his team. You can find the lost scholar in Zone 11, and once you reach Zone 11, you'll be greeted with a cutscene. That cutscene will introduce you to the Jyuratodus. The Jyuratodus is a very easy monster, and once you dispatch it, you will be taken back to Astera, where the commander has another mission for you. The commander wants you to secure Astera by defeating an Anjanath in the area, but before that, the chief botanist has a mission for you to do to test out a specialized tool. So we'll be doing that one first.
But be careful.
Once you talk to the chief botanist, he will explain his situation. He wants to test out a specialized tool and gather some materials in the ancient forest, but there's a Tobi-Kadachi in the area. He needs you to hunt it so that he can get what he needs. I will show you the fastest path to get to the Tobi-Kadachi from the northeast camp. So the Tobi-Kadachi is going to be the hardest fight in the game that you've encountered so far. And it's not really too difficult of a monster, but it's just fast and its movements are definitely weird the first time you see them. So, if you are having trouble facing this monster, then I recommend you send out an SOS Flare if you can't beat it on your own, but if you know you can, then just upgrade your armor, maybe your weapon, and just try again. The best way to learn in this game is through failure. After you've beaten the Tobi-Kadachi and returned to Astera, the Chief Botanist has some news for you. He has planted a tree that will grow a ton of stuff for you, called an ancient tree. You can grow many things with it. Pretty much every farmable plant in this game you can pick up in the wild. But you want to start growing honey. Honey is used for mega potions and is very important later on, because you can carry 10 mega potions and 10 normal potions at the same time, and I recommend you start growing honey. After that, go around looking for optional missions. You will need them eventually. If you want to do any optional missions, then by all means, go do them. They will give you more experience, and if you just don't want to right now, then that's fine too. You can stick to the main missions and unlock more of the game. After you've spoken with the Chief Botanist, you can move on and speak to the field team leader. He will send you up to the Handler, where she will give you your quest to hunt the Anjanath. Before you go on this quest, I recommend you farm a little bit of defense. That be, make a new armor set, upgrade your existing armor set to a higher defense level, whatever you want. Just get more defense. This will be the hardest fight you've seen so far in the game, and a lot of players cannot beat this monster their first try. But if you want a higher chance of winning, then upgrade your gear. I actually recommend fighting the Tobi-Kadachi enough times to get its armor set. It's not very good in terms of skills, but in defense, it's the best one you can make so far. The Barroth armor set is not a good choice. It has a lot of negative fire resistance. The Anjanath is a fire monster, and if it hits you with its fire attacks, they will do more damage, and most likely one-hit you. So, the next time you go up to the canteen, as the field team leader has said, there will be an upgrade. You have access to 4 different ingredients, and not just the regular 2, which means that every fresh ingredient will give you the same plus 10 health, but now that you can have 4 ingredients, you get plus 40. Having more health is the biggest increase in defense in the game, and the health boost skill, which we will talk more about later on, is going to be very important. So if you are following my advice and you are hunting the Tobi-Kadachi to make its armor set, then there is a chance you have gotten an investigation, and that investigation is a capture mission. So in order to capture a monster, you have to weaken it enough, which means you almost have to kill the monster. Almost. If you kill the monster, you fail the quest. And then you have to trap it and use 2 tranq bombs. You can use the tranq bombs first and then place down the trap, or the other way around. It does not matter. All that matters is you bring a trap with you, or during the investigation you take the trap from the item box. There will always be a trap in the item box along with trank bombs in capture missions, so you do not have to bring your own. When you capture a monster, you get more rewards at the end of the quest than you would a normal slay mission, but you cannot carve the monster. So, carving the monster would give you 3 rewards, but capturing it would give you bonus rewards that you would not normally get if you killed it. So it is worth capturing monsters to get more rewards. It may only be 1 or 2 more materials, but it's still 1 or 2 more materials you get. If you are following my guide and my advice, then you will have made the full set of Tobi-Kadachi armor and upgraded at least a little bit of it. You don't have to upgrade all of it since it already has pretty good defense for where you are right now, but this is where the Anjanath is. It's right next to the northeast camp. All you have to do is take that same path to go to the Tobi-Kadachi, and you will find the Anjanath. It will start out with a cutscene, and then you will get right into the fight. You've probably heard or read online that the Anjanath is one of the first walls that players come across, and that is very true. I actually didn't have any walls in the game personally, but I've read that a lot of players have. So if the Anjanath is your wall, then I advise you to 1. Hunt the monster more. More practice means more chances to actually kill it. The more chances you have to kill it, the higher the chance you will actually kill it. So always try on your own before you send out an SOS. It might be easier to have other players kill the monster for you, but you're not going to learn that way. I very much recommend you kill the Anjanath on your own, or at least try. After the Anjanath has been dealt with, you will move on to your next mission, and that mission, if you've been paying attention, is to capture Zorah Magdaros. Whenever you start the mission, you will be greeted with a cutscene, and then after the cutscene, the mission will begin. Your main goal in the first phase is to load up cannons and deal damage to Zorah Magdaros. You can use the cannons, the ballistas, whatever you want. You just got to deal damage to Zorah Magdaros. Each cannon can hold 5 cannonballs, and it shoots them all at one time. So whenever you load up a cannon, get 5 in there, shoot it off, and if you want to move the cannons, you have to go to the front of the cannon to move it. After Zorah Magdaros breaks through the first barrier, you will have to go to this hitching post. The hitching post will take you on top of Zorah Magdaros, which I'm going to call Phase 2. During Phase 2, your goal is to destroy the magma cores. There are 4 magma cores on Zorah Magdaros. I totally recommend you mine any mining outcrops and look for those magma cores to destroy. You should have plenty of time to destroy them all and mine every mining outcrop you see. And after that's done, enough time will pass, and it will force you to travel by a wing drake, where you will be introduced to Nergigante. Nergigante is an elder dragon. The second elder dragon you see, since you've seen Zorah Magdaros. And this is not how much damage he will do when you actually fight him. He does, like, no damage during this fight, and it's very short. Yep, that's the entire Nergigante fight for Zorah Magdaros. And then after the cutscene, you will be taken back to Astera. And this marks the end of my Monster Hunter World Guide Part 2. So, if you have any questions that I didn't answer in this video, feel free to leave them down in the comments below. I will try my best to answer every question you have. And, of course, I will continue making these videos, but I first have to continue playing through the game again to get this footage. So, with all that said, I'm going to leave it here. So if you enjoyed, leave a like, comment, and consider subscribing to my channel, where I post gaming videos like this almost every day. And with that said, I'll catch you all in the next one. Bye-bye.